Hello everybody, it's Tall, Chad, Flores, and no more big. We're done with fat, lazy, two-faced partners. They're gone. Couldn't be happier to be rid of him. I feel like my cholesterol went down just not being by him ever. What we're going to do on the show is each week I'm going to come to you and I'm going to try to give you my honest opinions on what I saw, what I think. It's not always going to be pretty. It may not always be PC. And I really don't care what you think, to be honest. What I want to do is try to, free myself to give my sports opinion. Now, this is the first time, so bear with me, but I want to start off before I say anything that I send my condolences and my thoughts out to the victims of Harvey and Irma. I spent 7 days last week down helping in Houston and around Houston, and I saw firsthand what all that's about, and it's just an awful mess. Come back and funny but true story. When I get back, they tell us, oh, you need to take some kind of T-shot, tetanus, flu, what was it? Hepatitis A and B, and I'm thinking as they're going down this list, that might have been something you assholes should have told us before we went. Then we could have been safer. So now I probably got the flu, pneumonia, hepatitis A and B, which is surprising because the best I ever did up until this point was always a C. But, it is what it is. Again, hats off to them guys. I'm sorry. I hope you rebuild and recover, and Godspeed to each and every one of you. The funniest thing from sports this last week, I got to start off with my Aggies, near and dear to my heart, always. Never too far away, always, we're always about to gig them. Man, I'm not sure they could have beat the Kentucky School of the Blind. Got that big 44-10 lead, blew it. I've been calling all along for Sumlin to go. Man's been there 10 years and we've only got worse, and he's ran off two 5-star quarterbacks. I'm hoping we can get Chip Kelly in it. Chip, if you hear me, come on, baby, we could use you. But I also got to take a second to talk about those classless Aggie fans that are out there writing death threats, racial threats. Again, I want Sumlin gone too, but you got to have a little class about yourself. And if I know people, or if I hear people doing that, I'm going to tell you how sorry you are to your face. I got a habit of doing that. I left a note on somebody's car downstairs who parked in my spot and told them, how about you pay rent or park across the street? That's what I do. I build bridges. I make friends. You don't get to the top of the food chain, have a beard, all these tattoos and muscles by kissing butt. That's not what I do. Chivas, no better. Man, I'm not sure he could start he could stop, I should say, the Malakoff High School offense. It's just, it's a mess. They can't tackle. They can't seem to get off the field. Nicholls State. They had all kinds of trouble with Nicholls State, and it couldn't have been worse. I'm ashamed of them. It's my opinion. They may win 2 SEC games if they're good enough to do that. It's just going to be an awful long year. There's a tradition that Aggies have. If you have a girlfriend, a wife, a fiance, whoever, every time the Aggies score, you kiss your partner. I feel like this year it's going to be a long, lonely year. It won't be much making out this year unless the defense can do something. They just forgot how to run the ball against UCLA. Just stupid stuff. Built up that huge league running the ball. Injury aside, we can't blame it all on the injury, although Mond was pathetic. We'll get to that. I've already tried to get in contact with Louisville and told them we'd give them Kevin Sumlin, Mond, and our next 5 top 50 recruits for the last last few games of eligibility of Lamar Jackson. Hadn't been back to me yet. I don't think nothing's going to happen. Wishful thinking. But again, he's had he's had 10 years, excuse me. And to my Longhorn friends, I heard them saying awful, stupid, hateful things this last week after Maryland took them behind the woodshed. Herman's had 7, 8 months. Sumlin's had 10 years. You got to give Herman some more time. Now, I still hate the Longhorns. I always do. I don't want to see them do bad if A&M's not a factor in it. I still like to see all Texas teams do well. But you're going to have to give Herman more time. I think he's a good guy. I think Herman's going to get it together for y'all. Just a little bit more time. They also, like A&M, is having a hard time tackling the ball. And I've said a few times, it's been my whole